Hello and welcome to the first ever L15 weekly podcast, giving you the latest news, views and opinions from the football world. Coming up on this week's episode, we have transfer news from around the globe. We also have your top 5 heroes of the week and a build-up to the 2020 MLS season, including a review of the 2020 SUPERDRAFT. All of this coming up on the first episode of L15 Weekly. Let's get into it. Ernesto Valverde has been sacked after the 3-2 loss against Atletico Madrid in the Supercopa semi-final, which Atletico went on to lose in the final to Real Madrid on penalties. Quique Setién has been appointed on a 2.5-year deal. The former Real Betis manager left Betis at the end of last season and is also the former manager of Las Palmas and CD Lugo. He got Real Betis European qualification, which is seen as one of the greatest moments in the club's history. He also got a 42.55 win percentage in a 2-year spell at the club. He brings promise of a Cruyff philosophy of football, and apparently the job is beyond his wildest dreams. He promises a fast and aggressive Cruyff and Guardiola playing style, a team that likes to dominate possession. He is also tipped to play a 3 at the back with a pivot just in front, which is perfect for Frankie de Jong. It is an interesting appointment, but one that brings optimism for Barcelona fans who look to get their old days back after a dire spell under Ernesto Valverde. The Inter Milan director is confident about signing both Christian Eriksen and Olivier Giroud this transfer window. Olivier Giroud has scored 19 goals since his January 2018 move to West London. He has scored 5 goals only in the league. The majority of appearances have come as a substitute. Inter Milan has offered £3.4 million plus £850,000 as add-ons. He is out of contract in the summer, and Conte wants to rejoin and link up with his man who he signed when he was Chelsea boss. He signed on a 5.5-year deal in 2018. Christian Eriksen is also out of contract in the summer, and Inter Milan have put in a £8.5 million bid for the Tottenham man. Mourinho is not keen for the Danish international to leave, but Eriksen is a want-away at Tottenham and is looking for a January move rather than letting his contract run out for free in the summer. Gedson Fernandes has signed for Tottenham Hotspur on an 18-month loan deal. The Portuguese under-21 international has played just 215 minutes this season for his parent club Benfica. He is said to have fallen out with manager Bruno Lage. He has also been given an option to buy for Tottenham Hotspur for £46.76 million. He will wear the number 30 shirt. Lyon, AC Milan, Chelsea, West Ham were also interested, and Mourinho was said to have swayed the Portuguese's decision. Mikel Arteta has denied reports that Arsenal are interested in John Stones. He has also denied reports they are interested in AC Milan and Ivory Coast midfielder Frank Kessie. Jerome Boateng has also been allowed to leave Bayern for £12.8 million. The 31-year-old is in high demand on Mikel Arteta's transfer shopping list. Also, Dayot Upamecano isn't going anywhere this window, according to RB Leipzig, who are top of the Bundesliga and are in a Champions League run in the round of 16. Terence Congolo has signed for Fulham from Huddersfield until the end of the season. Jack Clarke has signed for QPR from Tottenham on loan until the end of the season after his Leeds loan spell was terminated from the North London club. Huddersfield have loaned Andy King from Leicester until the end of the season. Swansea have loaned both Sam Gallagher and Ryan Brewster until the end of the season. And West Brom has shown interests in Dynamo Zagreb's Miroslav Orsic. So on to the first 5 heroes of the week. This week I've chosen them, but in the coming weeks, you at home, the viewers can choose which 5 players you want in our 5 heroes of the week. So if you give me a player, I will go in and look at their previous game. If they've done well in their previous game, I will research their entire season, give you stats and facts on how well they've played. So this is something for you guys to decide. You can decide in the comment section below, or you can go on my Twitter at L15weekly and you can drop a comment in the comments section, or you can go on Instagram at L15weekly and you can also go and see who you would like to be chosen in your top 5 heroes of the week. So the first of the 5 heroes of the week. So in no particular order, we have Sergio Aguero of Manchester City, who has broken 2 Premier League records in one game. This game being the 6-1 victory for Manchester City against Aston Villa, where he was accompanied by goals from Riyad Mahrez with 2 and Gabriel Jesus. He scored a hat-trick. And he broke 2 records with that hat-trick. The first record he broke was the most Premier League hat-tricks of all time. So he scored 12 Premier League hat-tricks in the Premier League era, and that is 1 more than the previous record holder, Alan Shearer. So he also, the 31-year-old, broke the most Premier League goals by foreign players record, 177 Premier League goals, which is 2 more than former Arsenal striker Thierry Henry. So the next hero of the week we have is Bruno Fernandes of Sporting Lisbon, who got 2 goals in his game against Setúbal in a 3-1 win. And just for a bit of icing on the cake, he is close, I am hearing, to a move to Manchester United. This was going to be on the transfer news, but I thought I'd slip it in our Heroes of the Week section. So the 25-year-old is close to a £65 million move from Sporting Lisbon to Manchester United. If they can just agree a fee, I think personal terms would be no problem. Because Bruno Fernandes is apparently eager to move to Man United, and he continues to show fine form. So for Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League as well, they finished second in their group and they're into the knockout round. So Bruno Fernandes is our second hero of the week. Well deserved. So for our next hero of the week, we are going down under and we are going to Australia, and we are visiting Diego Castro of Perth Glory, who has a mighty 3 assists and 1 goal in his last 2 games. So in those 2 games being consecutive 3-0 victories for Perth versus Central Coast Mariners and Adelaide United. They're in fine form in the Australian Hyundai A-League. So the Spanish 37-year-old has played 12 games. He's scored 4 goals and got 6 assists. He has a massive pass success rate of 81.6% and has scored a third of his shots this season. Bear in mind, this guy is 37 years old. He used to play in the Liga Santander, used to play for Getafe. I think he's an incredible player, and it's incredible that he's ripping up the Hyundai A-League at 37 years old. So that is a well-deserved Hero of the Week for Diego Castro. Our next Hero of the Week, we go to Greece, and we're going to the Greek Super League, and we are visiting Youssef El Arabi of Olympiakos. So he scored a hat-trick against Lamina in the Greek Super League. He has got 13 goals this season and 4 assists, and he's played 17 matches in the Greek Super League. In the UEFA Champions League, he was obviously in the same group as Tottenham and Bayern Munich. So he played 9 matches, obviously 3 of those being in qualifying rounds, only 6 of them being in the group stage, and he scored 5 goals in the UEFA Champions League. He has scored, this is an incredible record, 0.97 goals per match. That is nearly a goal a game. That is actually a goal every 93 minutes, so it could well be a goal a game if there's added time at the end. And he's the top goal scorer in the Greek Super League, so incredible form for Youssef El Arabi. Our 5th and final Hero of the Week comes from the Calcio A in Italy, and it is Fabio Quagliarella of Sampdoria. So Quagliarella has scored 2 goals in a 5-1 win versus Brescia. That is why he is the Hero of the Week, one of our Heroes of the Week. He only has 5 goals this season in 16 appearances, along with 1 assist. The Italian was last season's top goal scorer with 26 goals and 8 assists. What an incredible record for the 36-year-old. That is a goals to game ratio of 0.73. So Sampdoria are currently 16th. They only have 19 goals in 19 games. They are struggling for goals. So hopefully Fabio Quagliarella can reignite some of last season's form and try and get a few more goals to help Sampdoria get out of this sort of relegation trouble. But of course, a well-deserved Hero of the Week with his 2 goals against Brescia. So our next segment on L15 Weekly is our game of the week. So we look forward to the fixtures, and a particular fixture in which we are focusing on is Real Madrid versus Sevilla in the Liga Santander. So Real Madrid currently are level on points with Barcelona with 40 points, but Real Madrid have a 13 less goal difference than the Catalan club. Also, Sevilla are fourth, just inside of the UEFA Champions League spot. Top spot is well within their reach, but they are also 4 points away from dropping into the Europa League group stage spots. It's going to be a thriller, a big game at the Santiago Bernabeu. I'm going to predict, so every week I'm going to predict the score for this game, and I'm going to say 2-1 to Real Madrid. Leave your score predictions for Real Madrid versus Sevilla in the comment section below, or send them to me on Twitter. Whoever gets the score right will get a shout out, and they will get their name mentioned on the L15 Weekly podcast next week. So on this week's episode, we have our first ever special guest. We have avid Portland Timbers fan and an MLS super fan. We have Dylan on the show today. Dylan, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
So Dylan's going to come on and he's going to talk to us about the MLS SUPERDRAFT and what this season has in store for us. So Dylan, first question, what is the purpose of the MLS SUPERDRAFT?
The MLS SUPERDRAFT gives teams a chance to add to their squad with young upcoming American school talents and give them a chance to make a name for themselves, and has produced talent such as ex-Premier League starlet Jeff Cameron and football veteran Josie Altidore.
And which teams do you think got the best picks in this year's SUPERDRAFT?
With going first, Inter Miami obviously had a very positive start to their opening MLS season, capturing the exciting forward Robbie Robinson and a very highly rated Dylan Nealis to improve on what's already looking to be a strong back line. Midfield anchor Aaron Molloy was picked by Portland alongside McGraw and Orland for their defence. Overall, Orlando looked to have had the most impactful draft, with picking up Daryl Dike, Josie DeSalt and Austin Avisa alongside others which helped strengthen them over the entire pitch.
And which teams would you say are looking the strongest after this MLS SUPERDRAFT?
Runaway winners of the MLS Shield last year, LAFC, are still looking like the strongest team after the completion of the draft, with Jack Callahan and the rest of their draft picks will probably just be used to bolster the squad and improve their depth. However, after the draft, Chicago Fire have made their squad much better than previous years and could see them push for the playoffs, putting recent history behind them after being owners of the Wooden Spoon twice in the past 5 years.
And which team has made the best non-draft transfer?
Looking at the new MLS faces from overseas, the 2020 transfer window has yet again provided us more exciting talent. Portland have brought in Colombian winger Yimi Chara, brother of current MLS All-Star Diego Chara, who could provide some chemistry in a recently out-of-form Portland side. As well as this, Colorado have brought in Danish international Jonas Namli, who could be one of the favourites in the assist charts this season. However, I think LA Galaxy's recent signing of Kenneth Vermeer from Feyenoord is the most significant transfer of the window, as his experience should be capable of topping David Bingham's 8 clean sheets last season and maybe becoming MLS All-Star in his first campaign.
And how are Inter Miami and Nashville looking as the season start closes in?
Inter Miami are looking very good for a team about to start on their inaugural MLS campaign. Luis Robles, an experienced MLS goalkeeper, looks to be the first team's first choice, with Roman Torres and AJ De La Garza in front of him, which is set out to be an experienced defence which could be contending for the most consistent in the season. We are yet to see how most of the midfield play, however Lee and Nguyen should help a very young midfield develop through the season. However, Inter Miami don't have much attacking prowess, with only new boy Jerome Kieswetter leading the line. Diego Alonso looks like a very strong manager, despite getting sacked from Club World Cup semi-finalist Monterrey last year. As for Nashville, they don't look as good as Inter Miami when it comes to their defence. Joe Willis is looking to sit behind a back line including the likes of Eric Miller and Daniel Lovitz, who enjoyed very respectable performances at Montreal. Once again, Nashville are very youthful further up the pitch, but Dallas's Dominic Badgie and MLS starlet David Ackham have been brought in, which could see them up amongst the highest scoring teams in 2020 should they both hit top form. Overall, both Nashville and Inter Miami have potential for very good opening seasons and should be looking to solidify playoff places from the get-go.
And which teams do you think had an under-par season last year?
Starting with the Eastern Conference, Cincinnati had a disastrous opening season, being the worst team in the league comfortably, even as far as 10 points off 11th place Orlando City. Orlando themselves had a very disappointing season and were a long way off the playoff place they were hoping for. Despite finishing in the playoffs and winning 13 from 34 games, only one less than 2018, DC United fans were disappointed with a 5th place finish, especially after being 4 points clear in mid-season. Atalanta were left shocked in this season, losing the conference to New York City. However, they enjoyed a respectable 2nd place after Joseph Martinez finally found his feet. Moving into the West, the most notable and unexplainable dip in form was Kansas. The 2018 conference champions finished 11th, just 4 points off last place, failing to win even a third of their games, scoring 16 less goals than the previous campaign. They also conceded 61 in comparison to just 40 in 2018, showed the loss of key players proved pivotal. The Western Conference was fairly accurate, so Kansas were the only real underperformers, bringing any surprises and being named the biggest underperformers in 2019.
And these teams like Kansas and Cincinnati, have they improved since?
Kansas and Cincinnati certainly look like the two main teams that needed strengthening. Cincinnati have majorly improved their squad with 19 players to date and big names such as Yuya Kubo from Ghent and Östersund centre-half Tom Pettersson, who looked very strong for the Swedish outfit last season. This should help them away from a second wooden spoon in 2 seasons and maybe a shock push for the playoffs. As for Kansas, they have made a couple of significant transfers in Mexican maestro Alan Pulido, who set the Mexican league alight with Chivas, and Bundesliga forward Kiri Shelton, who is good yet inexperienced. This could put them back towards yet a 50-goal season and reinstate Kansas as a team with ambition and desire.
And who do you think will be sniffing around the top spots this year?
I think Real Salt Lake and Minnesota will have poor seasons and fall out of the playoffs in the West, with Columbus Crew looking to spring no surprises in the East. As for the top, I believe LAFC could be easily winners of the Western Conference this year, with Carlos Vela still in fine form and a further developed squad. However, fierce rivals Seattle Sounders and Portland Timbers could be out for success. As for the Eastern Conference, we will see another competitive title race, but I feel Atlanta will just pull ahead of the competition this year. So I think I would say Atlanta to win in the East and Seattle to upset LA in the West. However, I think LA will go on to win the whole Shield as they are looking stronger than ever.
So that's all from Dylan, and he will be back just before the 29th of February to give us an up-to-date season preview. Dylan, thank you for coming on.
No problem. No doubt I'll be your best guest ever on this podcast, and I hope to see you all later.
Of course. Some breaking news coming to you from the EFL Championship. Derby County have been charged for breaches of spending rules. The spending rules only allow Championship clubs to lose £39 million over a 3-year period. Derby County could face up to 21 points deducted. They have been referred to an independent disciplinary commission regarding their stadium sale to Mel Morris. This will be a huge blow for the club, which has faced criticism over its lucrative deal with bookmaker 3-2 Red to bring in Wayne Rooney to the club, and paid players late earlier this month. Sheffield Wednesday could also go under similar procedures. And that brings us right to the end of this week's L15 Weekly podcast. Please make sure to send in your suggestions for your 5 heroes of the week to @L15weekly on Twitter, or leave them in the comments section below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.